Hello, everyone. This is Jennifer again at the Rosary Chronicles, and I'm talking today about accepting our brokenness. Um, when you've been a Christian or Catholic for some time and you're genuinely trying to live the gospel, you keep coming up against your own weaknesses, sins, faults, and failings. And at first, it can be, how would I say it? At first, it can be a situation in which we think, oh, I can overcome this. But then as we go further along, we see that it's not as easy as we think. And that process in which we discover how broken we are is actually God's gift to us. He doesn't do that to rub our nose in our misery or anything of that nature, but merely to show how broken we are, so that we can see that reality and realize how dependent we are on God for anything good. Anything good in us is God's grace, God's work. It's nothing for us to boast of ourselves. Any talents that God has given us, any beauty that God has given us is purely His gift, His goodness in us. And we live in a time where people are encouraged to think of what they do, of what they accomplish, rather than focusing on God. Because let's face it, it's uncomfortable to be dependent on anyone, including God. And not only that, but in the United States at least, we're always taught to be very strong and independent. But that only goes so far. There are good aspects to that, but it has its limitations. We all are dependent on God for everything. And unless we accept that uncomfortable truth, we won't really grow in holiness. I think that's important to really reflect on that as we keep going through St. Michael's Lent or any time of year. Is we really depend on God. And that's joyful, but it's also uncomfortable at the same time. Even the grace to get up and go to church is God's gift to us. Today, after Mass, I went, in my church, there's a relic chapel, and I knelt before those relics, not in idolatry of any sort, but I prayed to the saints whose relics are there and asked them to intercede for me so that I may grow in God's grace. Because I know it's not something I can accomplish on my own. It's God's grace working in me. And I know that the intercession of the saints does help me to obtain the abundant mercy and grace of God. And it will help you too. It might be something that you might want to try if you're feeling stuck in the same sins, the same bad habits, and it seems like you're having difficulty overcoming them, ask your patron saints, ask your guardian angel to pray for you, because they will present your prayers before the throne of God. And when that happens, then you will get more grace. That's how God set it up in the economy of salvation, the communion of saints, praying for us, interceding for us, and helping us along. And then when you see the fruits of that, when you see yourself actually being able to overcome temptations and habitual sins, or even just bad habits that you know aren't necessarily sinful, but they may be keeping you from devoting as much time to prayer and to things of the Spirit as you ought to, such as like spending too much time playing video games or too much time on social media or things of that nature. May not always be sinful in and of themselves, but they can become sinful if they're keeping you from more fully and authentically living the gospel. Today, I was given the grace to spend, again, about a little over 2 hours in Eucharistic adoration. It was split up. I did one holy hour, and then I went back later on and prayed some more, and it was so lovely. And, again, I'm just so thankful for God's giving me that grace of extended prayer. It was really beautiful. And to have the silence and the solitude to really pray and meditate was just an awesome gift. And so, if you're struggling, if you're feeling discouraged, let this be a lesson to you to keep going, never give up. St. Teresa of Avila said that we have to have a determination to persevere in the spiritual life. And she said that she herself had struggles to overcome. All of the saints did. Saints are sinners that kept trying. I cannot remember who said that, but someone famous said saints are sinners that didn't give up. They kept trying to more fully live the gospel, and of course, God rewarded them with that. So, just a little thought for today, and I hope this blesses you. I'll see you again soon.